on, it's National Limerick Day, Tony. I'm sure you've got one in your pocket.
Tony Kornheiser, I sure do. Your columns once had the dateline of the biggest events of all time. Now it's just sad that you are so glad to attend the NBA Combine.
Yeah, you noticed the Combine. I'm thrilled. It's a lifetime highlight. You should be here. Yeah. Lifetime highlight. You know?
And it's also in a city that you're passingly familiar with, I know.
Oh, wait.
I know you want to be there because it's in Chicago.
You wonder where I guess I got my dinner reservation tonight, huh? 6:15?
I'm going to say Chicago cut. I'm going to say that. I hope you get a free meal from me saying that. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Cavs beat the Pistons. The Dodgers are struggling. And TJ Oshie joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with the Oklahoma City Thunder completing their expected sweep of the Los Angeles Lakers last night in Los Angeles, 115-110. This was the best game the Lakers played in this series, but Oklahoma City is clearly better than a Lakers team without Luka Doncic. This game was close in the fourth quarter, a moral victory of sorts. Wilbon, what does this sweep say about the Thunder, and where does it leave LeBron and the Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm uttering what is becoming an old line now when I talk about the Thunder being politely ruthless, which is what they are. And so the Lakers got a lead for a moment, and then another moment, and then a moment, and OKC just slammed the door. I'm going to say one thing about the game, one detail. JJ Redick, who I like a lot, and I think is a really good coach. He doesn't have Rui Hachimura on the floor for the critical possession the Lakers need to hit a three, even though he was 4 for 8 from 3. And I think he's hitting like 50% of his three-pointers in the postseason. He doesn't have Rui Hachimura on the floor. I mean, he has some dude from the Dallas trade on the floor who hadn't played all game. And you're like, what? You need a 3, and this dude is not on fire. So I don't know what the hell that was. I'd like to have just been there to say behind the scenes, JJ, what happened here, because he's a smart guy. In the meantime, we go straight to LeBron, Tone. We know what it says about OKC. What does it say about LeBron? The speculation has already started. You mentioned I'm here at the Combine. I'm here where everybody's talking about draft picks first, including yours in Washington, but they're talking about LeBron. And people are saying, wait a minute, where's he going to play? Can he go back to the Lakers? There seems to be a growing sentiment that he will finish his career, and nobody knows anything because LeBron has announced nothing. But he would finish his career in Cleveland, where you can trade Mobley to the Lakers, and Mobley needs to play with a guy like Luka, and Luka needs a big like Mobley, and LeBron can be in Cleveland and help finish it out there with a chase for something big. That's one sentiment, and it seems to be growing. We don't know about LeBron, but he better not retire. He's too damn good. He's too good.
So I will be dismissive of the Oklahoma City part of this question. They're just playing at a terrific level. They're 8-0, and their average margin of victory is 16.6 points. And I was amazed when you said you thought that the Lakers could actually win a game in this series, because I did not, because they got 34 points and 7 assists a game sitting on the bench unable to play. And I will go to LeBron, who at 41 years old is still a great player.
Yeah.
You know, he, at this point, he has played 8 years in a row with the Los Angeles Lakers. That's his longest consecutive streak in his career with one team in a row. I don't know. He's got one title there, Mike. I think that burns him, because you look at the Lakers greats of the last 35 or 40 years. You start with Kareem, you go to Magic, you go to Kobe. I'm pretty sure they each have 5 titles, and LeBron has 4 titles. So he will chase another title. And I'm perfectly fine with that. That's why you play to win championships. I have 2 numbers I want to give you that I think are amazing. I want to take 15 seconds. Prior to this season in the playoffs, all players in the history of the league 41 years old and over combined for 212 points in the playoffs. LeBron just had 232. He had 23 a game in 10 games. All those same players, 41 and over, combined for 22 assists. LeBron just had 73. So everybody ought to want LeBron because he's still great.
Still great. He is. But, Tony, I don't see him in L.A. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't see him. He's not going to win a title with that group in L.A. And people make so much money now, what's going to happen? Somebody's got to give. And I don't think Austin Reeves is like anybody's a championship second best player. Luka, I wonder about Luka and his being the best player, two-way. You need a two-way player to be a great player. He's not that. As he's a wizard on offense. But I don't know that LeBron can be in L.A. and come close to a title. Not in the West. Let's move to the East, where we had a tale of two halves between the Pistons and Cavaliers last night. Detroit was up 4 at the break, but Cleveland went on a 22-0 run to start the third and won by 9. Donovan Mitchell had 39 in the second half, and his 15 free throws for the game exceeded the 12 that the Pistons had as a team, which Detroit coach J.B. Bickerstaff called unacceptable on the part of the refs. Tone, with which team does the edge in this series now rest?
Let me ask you a question. Are they moving Game 5 to Cleveland, or is it still in Detroit? Because if it's still in Detroit, I'm going to go with the Pistons, because Cleveland they haven't won a game on the road in the playoffs. They lost all the games in Toronto in the playoffs. They've started out losing the first 2 games in Detroit. They are 0-5 on the road. They're 6-0 at home, but they're 0-5 on the road. And Game 5 is on the road. And if there's a Game 7 is on the road. So before I go crazy for Cleveland, a team you know that I like, they're going to have to show me that they can win on the road. Now, let me get to what happened last night. I am not stunned that Donovan Mitchell had 39 points in a half, because Donovan Mitchell, as you well know, had 71 in a game against your Chicago Bulls.
Yes.
He's had 57 in the playoffs, 51 in the playoffs, 50 in the playoffs. So he can score. And I look at that backcourt of Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, and I think they are the best backcourt and should be the highest scoring backcourt in the entire NBA. But he needs Harden to be good. Harden was good last night. They combined, Mike, for 89, either scoring or assisting on 89 of Cleveland's 112 points. And that's, you got to have both of them. You got to have both of them.
Tone, that's true. Let me give you some credit. People I was watching with last night, somebody pointed out and said, your co-host has been on Cleveland since that trade. Yeah. He's looking pretty good right now. And I said, yes, this is the game Anthony Kornheiser has been waiting for. Boom. They got it when they needed it in Game 4 to even that series. Now, and you're right about all the scoring. I won't go through it because you're right about that. This series, Tone, I'm wondering, is Cade Cunningham, who they need to trump this now, is he going to get enough help from Tobias Harris and Duncan Robinson at home to win a Game 5? And can they do that in a Game 5 and a Game 7 likely necessary? This series has become fun. Cleveland, I think you and Charles are more bullish on Cleveland than anybody in the national TV scene.
Here's my pushback.
You are.
My pushback is with James Harden on the road in the playoffs. In Detroit, he's shooting 9 of 28 from the field, 1 of 11 from 3, and he's got 11 turnovers. In Toronto, he was 6 of 20 from 3, and he had 19 turnovers in 3 games. He's got to be better on the road. It's that simple. He has to. Let's move to baseball. And the prohibitive World Series favorites, the Dodgers. The Dodgers are struggling right now. They lost last night 9-3 to the Giants. They've lost 3 in a row in 8 out of 12. Getting Mookie Betts back last night was not a cure-all. They've dropped 1/2 game back to the Padres, and Shohei Ohtani is batting 111 in May. No home runs and an anemic OPS of 358. Wilbon, you root for the Dodgers because the Northwestern guy owns them? What they're going through now, big deal, little deal, no deal.
No deal. No deal. It's a 162-game season. No, this is not a season for the 2 generations of people who can only watch clips and react to something like everything's the NFL. It's not the NFL, and the clips don't matter. Not at some point they could matter. They could matter in August. But, Tony, if we go back through the 150 years of Major League Baseball, we can go back and we can include the 1927 Yankees, and probably every champion, or 90% of them, have lost 8 of 12 in a season. This happens. It happened to the Mariners, who won 116 games or whatever it was. It's going to happen. The Dodger bats will come together. Mookie Blaylock, who is, did I say Mookie Blaylock? I meant Mookie Betts.
Yeah, Mookie Betts.
I went to the wrong Mookie. I went to the Spike Lee Mookie. Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
With him at the top of that lineup, they're going to get on track. They just will. And Shohei's not going to not hit forever. The Dodgers will find their stride maybe around July 4. Everybody chill. they'll be fine.
I tend to agree with you that normally I would say it is no deal at all because 3/4 of the season is yet to play, 120 games left to play. The only thing that makes me think it's a little deal is because of the involvement of the Padres. They are a division team. They are a playoff team. They are a fierce rival. They are a fierce rival of Dodgers.
They hate them, yeah.
So that any counterbalancing of the Padres and the Dodgers makes me think that it is at least a little deal. The Dodgers are in a terrible slump, and a lot of their hitters, Ohtani and Freeman and Hernandez and Will Smith and Kyle Tucker, I know you don't like, but they're all having slumps at the same time. Since April 20th, look at this number. Yeah, since April 20th, the Dodgers are 24th in runs scored, 25th in batting average, 29th in slugging. Dodgers paid a lot of money for these guys. If you look closely, maybe you think it's the Mets. But I'll tell you this, Mike.
Mets.
I'll tell you this. I think the Dodgers will be fine, but maybe they're not. Sometimes, some seasons, some teams gas. And I'm going to give you this example.
Yeah.
The Florida Panthers, they won 2 Stanley Cups in a row. They did not make the playoffs this year. So maybe, it's a maybe. It's a maybe. Let's take a break. Coming up, what should we read into the Sabres changing goaltenders tonight? We're going to ask TJ Oshie.
We'll also ask him just how good the Hurricanes are right now. Tony, Mookie, well, of course, was Spike Lee. And the Mookie I referred to first, Blaylock, who did he play most for? Who was he good for?
I don't know. You tell me.
Atlanta.
You know him better
Hawks.
than I. Atlanta?
I think Blaylock had his best years.
Did he play
with the
college
Hawks.
at Oklahoma? Did he?
Yeah.
We've got Stanley Cup playoffs questions for our good friend ESPN NHL analyst TJ Oshie. Let's start with this. The Avalanche beat the Wild last night 5-2. The teams that win in that series are scoring 10,000 goals each game. But the Wild felt that Josh Manson of the Avalanche should have been given a 5-minute major penalty instead of a double minor for hitting Michael McCarron with the butt end of his stick. You've been out there for years and years and years. You've been in these things. How do you view that?
I think they're definitely right. It could have been a 5-minute call. Honestly, in all my time, 16 years on the ice, I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually butt end someone. So to actually see it, I feel like that's something from the old days that you'd hear about, or you're seeing like the Rock'em Sock'em videos. So they're right in saying they probably should have been a 5-minute. I'm also from the era where, if you don't get that, you take care of business yourself and you send a big dog over there and you take care of business. But I just haven't seen that. It's just very surprising. I know he got fined for it. But there's definitely no place for that in the game. Having said that, you still have 4 minutes to score on the power play. Big chance for Minnesota to try to get up a couple goals there.
Tony, that was so old school when TJ said, I'm from the old school. You let a big dog take care of that. That is right. That is the way all sports were once upon a time. TJ, Sabres trail the Canadians 2-1 going into game 4 tonight. The Sabres are going back to Luukkonen in net. Does that say anything significant to you?
It does. And I first want to start by saying I thought Alex Lyon was maybe their best player, the goaltender that's now coming out. In the last game, Montreal had an opportunity in the first period. They could have been up like 4-0 or 4-1 with Buffalo scoring in the first minute. But that sends a message to the rest of the team. If I'm a leader on that team, if I'm a guy on that team and I see Lyon getting pulled, I'm going up to him, first of all, and apologizing and saying, hey, we got to be a lot better in front of you. But now that goes to the rest of the team. All right, now we're putting in another goaltender. It's now not on them. It's now on you guys. You guys have to step up. They have to be way better in front of the goaltenders. And imagine a quarterback that can't make a throw because he's getting hit all the time. Well, you'd probably look at the O-line. You wouldn't look at the quarterback, right? I feel like that's a little bit this situation right now. And so Buffalo has to do a lot better job in front of them.
The other game we've got tonight, Ducks, Golden Knights, tied at 2. Do you see anybody having a real advantage in that series, even though it's tied?
I do see an advantage on the Vegas Golden Knights only because of their experience. A lot of guys on this team were on the team that won the Cup a couple years ago, and they can lean on that. We're now, about halfway through almost halfway through the playoffs. They can lean on that experience. Mitch Marner is absolutely on fire right now, leading the playoffs in points. And so you got to lean on those guys. They do have Mark Stone. Looks like he might be hurt for a little bit. That's going to be a huge hole for them. And if they can lean on their defensive game, really be tough physically, extended ozone shifts, it's going to be very tough for Anaheim and those young guys to have to defend. If they do the opposite, if they start turning pucks over and they let Anaheim feed into their transition and these young guys who are unbelievable and flying all over the ice, if they can get pucks, get odd man rushes, get chances, Anaheim can score with the best of them.
We will get you out of here on this, and we've saved, I think, the best for last. Carolina Hurricanes. They're now 8-0 in the playoffs. Now they're sitting at home. They're resting and watching TV. Well, whatever they're doing, they don't have to play for a while, and they can get healthy. Have they worked their way, in your mind, into being Stanley Cup favorites based on what they've done in the first two series?
At this point in the playoffs, I'm not going to put anyone in front of Colorado. When they are on their game, I don't think anyone else looks like them. They just have a way of absolutely dominating and coming at you with their entire lineup. Carolina, I have even said from the beginning, they weren't even in my top 5 power rankings coming into the playoffs, and only because I played against these guys, I know how they play, and it seems like they play a playoff-style game all year, and I get worried about them getting a little bit tired. Well, now they have a potential of having 10-plus days off. They've won 8 games in a row. They haven't lost yet. So now they have to win me over. Also, Rod Brindamore, who I respect a ton as a player and as a coach, obviously is very good at getting through his message through to his team. Everyone plays the same. You hear their best players talking about checking for chances. How many top offensive players in the league do you hear talking like that? Not many. And so Rod does a great job with those guys. And right now, I think they're absolutely, in my eyes, the favorite in the East, but I just can't put them over Colorado just yet.
That's fair. That's fair.
Nice
Thank you, TJ.
That is fair. TJ, appreciate it.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Tonight's ESPN doubleheader starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. We will take one last break, but still to come. How does Wilbon feel about the Bears facing the toughest schedule in the NFL? We'll ask him.
It's close to that last year, too. They're loading up against us. Will the Spurs or Timberwolves take the lead in that series tonight?
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about the Bears? Aren't you optimistic about the Bears? Don't you think they're good?
We're probably going to start at Seattle on opening weekend. We're good, but we can be better than last year and still not have as good